The climax of the European golfing season, the Volvo Masters, live from Valderrama after the break.
Eurosport Live.
The Volvo Tour is brought to you by Volvo.
Hello and welcome to Eurosport Live, first round coverage of the final event on the Volvo Tour, the Volvo Masters, from Valderrama, high above the port of Soto Grande. We're on Spain's Costa del Sol, where conditions are perfect. Valderrama just a 20-minute drive from the Rock of Gibraltar on the way towards Malaga, and of course will be the venue for the 1977 Ryder Cup. Once again, it's been voted the #1 course on the continent. It staged all the previous 7 Volvo Masters. The big question on the 8th is who will win the Volvo Order of Merit. Sam Torrance takes a narrow £3,000 lead into this tournament, ahead of Colin Montgomery, who's won the Order of Merit for the last 2 years, and Bernhard Langer, the defending champion this week, has a chance to take the crown if he finishes first or second. First prize £125,000. Langer has to be first or second, and then worry about Torrance and Montgomery later. There's also the Volvo bonus pool, that's worth £500,000, and the man who finishes top of the rankings picks up an extra £125,000 bonus. Well, this is the story of the morning ground. Anders Forsbrand taking up where he left off in Berlin a couple of weeks ago. A marvellous 68 in quite testing conditions. The course is always tough. Jose Caceres, man who beat Greg Norman last week, also going well. And you saw Barry Lane also under par. Any score par or 1 or 2 over still leaves you in contention. You can see first glance of Sam Torrance and Colin Montgomery, both 1 over, shadowing each other. See Jose Rivero last out, and Jamie Spence was first out. A 73 came to Greece on the 17th, which has been redesigned, and took a double bogey 7. Well, let's pick up the action, and we're looking at the 15th hole. Robert Carlson, winner of the Tour of España Mediterranean Open earlier in the year. We'll be looking at the likes of Torrance, Montgomery and Langer as they play the back 9. And see this 15th par 3. That's a superb shot from Carlson, just the most delicate of touches. Now here's Langer, level par, but this is to stay that way. The par 5 11th, his third shot, right to the back of the green. And he's pushed that one. So all the 3 contenders for the #1 spot are all 1 over. Langer, whose second round last year, 62, a course record which I don't think will ever be beaten. Sam Torrance second into 13. Torrance playing with Per-Ulrik Johansson. Pin on this 13th hole. Just 11 paces on, cut right side. Colin Montgomery at the par 3 12, just a hole behind. This is for par. Was an iron short and came up below the green. It's an awkward chip. And that's a good save from Montgomery. Winner of this tournament 2 years ago, having lost the previous year in a playoff to Sandy Lau. And if anything, a bit of a Valderrama specialist. It was tied 4th last year and was in contention pretty well until the last couple of holes. Now 13th, Per-Ulrik Johansson playing with Sam Torrance. That's a brilliant shot from Johansson, almost in the hole. That certainly will be a 3. Now playing with Colin Montgomery is Wayne Riley, the winner of the Scottish Open. He's had his best year. Top 15 in the Order of Merit, provided they turn up, and they all have at the end of the week. Receive various slices of the Volvo bonus pool. And Riley over the long-handled putter brigade. And he too was a little short with his tee shot, but likewise saving his par. And believe me, level par will be an excellent score today. Now, Howard Clark, also level par, but it'll be a minor miracle if he stays that way. This is so fast and downhill to save par at 15. Just look, he just set that on his way, and well, it could have been worse. David Guilford on the 12th tee. It's 212 yards, and you've got to carry it all the way. Long iron bunker on the left-hand side, and that's where Guilford's ball was ended. Pin cut just 5 paces on from that left-hand side. There's not much wind. The forecast absolutely right. Splendid day, and the same for tomorrow. A little bit of breeze coming up from Sotogrande off the Mediterranean, and that's what there is into the players' faces. But this hole set down a little. They dropped down about 20-30 yards from the 11th green, which is the highest part of the back nine, and the hole surrounded by trees. And the wind can be a little deceptive. It's about 5 miles an hour this morning, and just getting up a touch, but we have known tougher winds in the past at Valderrama. Langer, 3 wins on this year's Volvo Tour already, and likely this week to be the first player to pass £5 million in prize money in Europe. Has that one gone a touch to the right? He was hanging on to it. It's not bad at all. So pin high and just pushed a fraction to the right. But so a good start for Langer. Sam Torrance for 3 at 13. He's out in 38. Sam, but he's picked up shots at 10 and 11. Oh, just a fraction away from 13. Had a double bogey 6 at the 9th. Par is 71. 35 out, 36 back. Here's the hero of the Scottish Alfred Dunhill Cup win, Andrew Coulthard, who's 2 over. Made a good start. Birdies at the 1st and 3rd. But he's dropped shots at 9 and 10. The biggest check of his life last week at St Andrews. Anders Forsbrand setting the pace with that round of 68, and Jose Caceres a 69. And Barry Lane and Ian Woosnam both with 70s. Anything under par. A superb score in the first round of the Volvo Masters at Valderrama. Chance for you to have a look through some of the scores, hoping that Mark James, who had a 74, will be joining us in the commentary box in about half an hour's time. Coulthard then at the 11th. The Ben Crenshaw style putter. Carlson had a 7 at this hole, but it's a birdie chance. Sam Torrance, Wayne Riley and David Guilford made 4s here, but of course Bernhard Langer dropped a shot.
Just turn left to right. Sure. Bit of a field paddy, I think.
Playing with the Benson Hedges champion, Peter O'Malley, who's 2 over. Again, like his playing partner started so well with birdies at the first and third, but drop shots at 4, 7 and 9, and a double bogey at 8. He's just birdied the 10th. That was so close to 2 in a row. O'Malley still 3 over. .54 players here, an elite field. Top 51 in the order of merit. Jean-Louis Gepi just creeping in when Jose Maria Olazabal pulled out with more foot trouble. It'll take a while before that is sorted. And the view down on the lake by the side of the 10th and the practice ground, the Volvo in the middle of the lake. Bernhard Langer for a birdie at the 12th. He's only made 1 so far. That was at the 3rd, the first of the short holes. Beg your pardon, he also made 1 at the 7th. Pretty rare birdies at the long par 4 7th, but drop shots at 5, 9, and of course at 11. Beautiful pace. Langer's going to be a tough man to beat this week. Took last week off, so he's ready, well prepared. So Langer 1 over. Sam Torrance, second shot to 14. Up the hill. Good drive, possibly just a long iron or a fairway wood off the tee, leaving about an 8 iron up the hill. .42 years of age and having the best season of his life. He's never won the Order of Merit, and that is pretty tricky. He's lucky to be in the bunker. He may get some sort of grip, but he's got a downhill shot. No way really he can stay above the pin. It may be difficult to keep it actually on the green. So a bit of a flyer for Sam Torrance, maybe the wrong club. Certainly if he was to remain top of the Order of Merit come the week's end, that would be very popular with most people in golf. Well, Colin Montgomery will be trying his darndest to prevent that. Montgomery, winner of the Volvo German Open, where Torrance was second, and it was his first win since the previous year's German Open, but rather like London buses, didn't take long for another win to come along 2 weeks later when he won the Trophy Long Comp. And he's been playing leapfrog with Sam Torrance ever since. Two Scots who were teammates last week, of course, winning the Alfred Dunhill Cup for the first time. Yeah, that's a pretty good pace, and swung the opposite way to what Monty expected. David Guilford, such a consistent player. Dropping a shot to go to 1 over. Wayne Riley from the right side of the 13th. Awkward shot because the longer collar of rough tight behind the pin, and the rough doesn't look particularly punishing, but if you're in there and close to the green, you almost have to play your recovery shot as a bunker shot. Open the face and soft hands. I think you're going to see plenty of that before the week's through. As I say, 54 players, and as of tomorrow, in score order, so the leaders out last. You see, he just opened the club up and just tried to land it softly, and what a result from Wayne Riley. Well, he made it look easy. That is such a good shot. He made it look simple, but well, that's a bonus for Riley, and he goes to 1 under, and he's just 2 shots off the lead. Worth looking at again. See how he opened the face and just chopped down on it, set it running. You can see just how fast the greens are. You see how true they are as well, because once that was homing in on the hole 6 feet away, you could see it was going in. And some of the holes you have to just take your part, and Montgomery hadn't hit his second close enough, so 2 putts will do. Still 1 over. You can see a bit of sweat on his brow, and it's beautifully warm down here at the Costa del Sol. Quite a steep, short climb up to the 14th tee. And then a climb up to the 15th from 14. Long par 3. 225 yards, and the longest of irons, or perhaps even a 3-wood. Pin placing, 20 paces on, 4 from the right. Back at 14, Johansson. Now he's got a hump to come over in the middle of the green. That's what makes this putt so difficult. Over it comes now, picking up a little bit of pace and swinging. And from there, that's quite good. You can see the ball marker of Sam Torrance, who's played a quite brilliant bunker shot and left himself an uphill putt to save par. I misled you, the ball marker was not as close to that, and that's about as good as Sam could do. If he hadn't hit a good shot, could have rolled all the way off the green. First win of the year in Italy, and then beating Stuart Cage and Howard Clark in a playoff in Mount Juliet, the Murphy's Irish Open, and then the Coventry British Masters, holding off the challenger Michael Campbell and going back to the top of the Volvo Order of Merit. In between times, Dunhill Cup winner, Ryder Cup winner, and became a father for the 3rd time. So the lightest of grips on the long-handled broom putter. Bobbled a little bit, but the pace is good. So Torrance goes to 2 over. His record is not outstanding in this event. He was joint second in 1990. Last year tied 25th. Although he opened with a first round 65, which at the time equaled the course record. And you can see Sam Torrance still there, but the lead is a slender one, just over £3,000. And Bernhard Langer's going well, £60,000 behind. First or second it has to be for Langer. Costatina Rocca already played this morning and around a 74. Langer second to 13. on the same line as Colin Montgomery in the match before. Now, first look at the 17th, which has been modified this year. It's a tough drive. Par 5, which was dominated by Miguel Angel Jimenez. You see how they can run out of fairway. And look, he's almost a fraction off, but he's okay. Jimenez, by the way, had to settle for a mere birdie at the hole today. Like Ronan Rafferty, a nightmare. He had a quadruple bogey 9. Back to 14 and Wayne Riley.
So it's up the top in that here.
Riley out in 36, drop shots at the 1st and the 4th. First birdie of the day came at the 5th, and he's played superb golf really from the turn. Birdies at 11 and 13 and a couple of pars.
And the wind's down off the left.
See the wind coming from left to right, helping. Valderrama looks down on the port of Sotogrande, where there's, of course, a very famous course as well. The Sotogrande course and the new marina. And they're getting very involved in the bid for the Ryder Cup, or for the staging of the Ryder Cup. They're helping with the car parking, and they bring a lot of tourism to the area.
It doesn't look as though it's actually helping down left. It's just pretty straight.
It's left to right, but it is definitely helping the cut. It's more across than help.
Important to leave the ball just below the pin. Like it might be a 7-iron. You see, he's let that one get away, and it's long, and that's just tough. And the reason he's discussed it, he knows what a difficult shot he's got coming, sadly. Colin Montgomery from the rough, and the ball seems to be sitting up okay. Two bogeys for Montgomery at the 3rd and the 6th, and just the one birdie coming at the 10th. Actually, that is the perfect shot, and just releasing up the green. That's a very makeable birdie putt. What a steep climb up that hill now. And 15 awaits. Hedblom looking for a birdie too. Oh, and that's 2 birdies in a row for Hedblom, back to level par. And not only the 4th birdie of the day at this hole, shows you how difficult it is. Jean-Louis Guepi, Jose Caceres and Roger Chapman, the other men to make 2. Sam Torrance could do with 1 now. Sam carries a 7 wood, and that may be the club that he was choosing, and hit that up, anything up to 240 yards. Again, he's going to be nestling down that rough with a downhill shot. The 2nd hole running, left himself the most awkward of chips, and that's why the scoring seems relatively high. If you do miss the green, all sorts of problems, and normally the players would be used to getting up and down fairly regularly. And see Sam Torrance, that's been where his game's improved, as his chipping has been so good. Back to 13 and David Guilford, who was 3rd here a couple of years ago. That's his best performance around Valderrama. I was telling you that the 17th, where Ronan Rafferty had a 9. Mike Harwood, who won this tournament in 1990, went one better, had a 10 on his way to an 82. Langer for a birdie at 13. Safe par. David Guilford safely tapped in for his par. Let's go ahead to 14. And the shot of Wayne Riley. Now he can't really play this softly. He's almost got to just hit it into the front edge of the rough and just let it check there and then trickle on down towards the hole. Needs such a sure touch. You see, the ball sits down, you can't get into the back of it. Well, 13 he holed from the same range, but this is a much, much harder shot. And he's played it brilliantly again. Almost impossible to stop that above the hole. And have the confidence to actually hit the ball quite hard through the rough. Montgomery's record the last 3 years, outstanding at Valderrama, tied 4th last year, winner in 93 and losing the playoff in 92. First 2 years he came here, 88 and 89. In those days there was a cut and Monty missed it on both occasions. Been struggling with an injured left wrist. Doctors not too happy that he's playing this week, but with so much at stake, no way was Montgomery going to miss the week, and nice long rest coming up after Sunday. Got it. So Montgomery, he won't be far away, you can guarantee that, come Sunday. Back to level par. And 3 shots off the pace. That one we're in with 3 rounds still to go. Again, this one just needs to be touched. Trying to get away, but Riley had read that, and that's a good up and down. Short game in full working order. We'll be seeing plenty of Anders Forsbrand tomorrow. That's 68. Will guarantee he's going to be in last place going out. Jose Caceres there as well, Barry Lane, Ian Woosnam and Wayne Riley, the best of the afternoon starters. You're watching the first round of the Volvo Masters live on Eurosport from Valderrama. Back after the break. Welcome back. Live coverage of the first round of the Volvo Masters from Valderrama. And we're looking at the defending champion, Bernhard Langer, who's 1 over par, 4 shots off the pace. And that was set this morning by Anders Forsbrand. Brilliant round of 68, and he leads by 1 from Jose Caceres. Just 54 players. See Langer just a little bit concerned. He's coming out of the semi-rough. Wants to finish below the pin and can't see the bottom of the pin, so Peter Coleman's yardage important. The most meticulous of players at Langer. Oh, you see, and he's into that bunker and got a little bit of a flyer out of the rough. Right club, didn't quite know how the ball was going to release. of the afternoon starters, or the later starters. This man, Wayne Riley, is having the best round.
He's happy with that.
1 or 2
I know what I'm bloody happy with.
struggling away. Howard Clark 2 over, Philip Walton 3 over, Frank Novello 5 over, Sam Torrance, of course, 2 over. He made his par at this hole, missed the green on the left, but got down in 2 more. But Ulrich Johansson also had a par. Just trying to slide this in, and he doesn't want to overdo it because it falls away quite steeply on the right-hand side. And you can see that's a long way right. That is a ball on the green. No prizes for guessing who that belongs to. This man, Colin Montgomery, I think the best iron player in the world at the moment, and has been for pretty well all of the year. Washing a little anxiously, but that's safely on, and a chance for 2 birdies in a row. 16th, the long par 4. Sam Torrance. This hole, 422 yards. Breeze behind. Fairway you can see tilting from right to left, and it used to be bunkers down there at one stage, and now it's the perfect place to hit your tee shot. In 16, you can see the trees all the way up to the right, and then the fairway sloping from right to left. And where you see the man on the mower, that's just about where the bunkers used to be. They took them out, and then you turn and a slight dogleg, and again your second shot has to be carried all the way. You can't fluke the ball onto the green. The bunkers or the rough will stop it. Pin today is 25 yards on, 3 from the left. This is our first view of the 70th green. Howard Clark for an eagle, and there haven't been many of those. There's been a 10 for Harwood, there's been a 9 for Ronan Rafferty, and the players are not in love with this redesigned hole, it has to be said. And Howard Clark will have to settle for birdie, but even so, that's a couple of shots picked up on most of the field. 16th, and Peter Hedblom for a par. He's gone birdie, and that's almost feels like another birdie. Still level par. Been a terrific year for the Swedes, of course. Robert Carlson, one of their 5 winners. Carlson was playing pretty well at one stage, and has got back. Lost the ball off the tee here. Got a birdie at 16, but 3 off the tee here. And this is for a double bogey. So he makes the 7, 3 more than Howard Clark, but he goes 3 over now.
Precision, Howard.
This is Langer. Glad to say I've been joined in the commentary box by Mark James. Welcome, Mark. At 74 this morning, and looking at the other scores, that's respectable.
Well, yeah, around this course, I thought it was a hell of a score, basically.
There's not that much in the way of breeze, but it's proving very tough. What are the main problems?
Some of the tough holes are right straight into the breeze, which makes it difficult. Number 9, number 11, number 12, and these holes are playing pretty tough. And if you do hit bad shots, there's an awful lot of trouble on the course, and you can run up 6s, 7s, 8s very easily.
Oh, indeed, on the 17th, we've seen a 10 for Harwood, a 9 for Rafferty, who you played with. And,
yeah, it's easily done. There's an awful lot of trouble. Greens are very firm this year, and it's a lot tougher than the last couple of years.
Well, here we are, 14, David Guilford, who's left himself an uphill putt. That seems to be the key at 14.
A lot of holes, yeah. If you're putting uphill, you can give it a little bit of a go at the hole, and this is one of the good greens. There's not many spike marks on this particular green, so it's a birdie chance. 14 pins at the back, fairly generous.
There's David Guilford, 1 over, 4 off the pace at the moment with 3 rounds to go. That won't worry him. I think he'd probably settle for a 72 at this moment in time. Wayne Riley then, whose short game skills have been exemplary the last 2 holes, chipped in at 13 and up and down at 14, but he was well right to the 15th, and he's got to play this almost like a bunker shot.
Yes, this is not the standard sort of grass you might get in America. This is more tangly and wet, and you've really got to give it a big heave, get the club right under the ball. And he's taken a huge divot, which is most of it before the ball, I think, in that case.
It was you could see how wet it was down there because his ball plugged. That was a free drop. Sam Torrance from the ideal place on 16. About a 6 iron, 5 iron in mid.
I would have thought it was a fairly deep iron today. I hit quite a wedge in there today. That's a lovely shot for Sam. He's doing pretty well. +2. Knocked that in, and he's looking at a chance to shoot level par for the day, and that's going to be in good shape.
Clear at the top of the order of merit by just £3,000. I think for most of the neutrals it would be lovely if Sam could pull it off at the age of 42.
I think I would like to see Sam do it. You know, you don't like to be ageist, but it may be his last chance to win the money list, and the career he's had, he certainly deserves it. And the golf he's played this year, it would be perfect finish.
Wayne Riley, trials and tribulations continue at 15. Same sort of shot, really. I needed to hit the pin, didn't it? Riley looking for a share of that Volvo bonus pool. There's Philip Wharton at 17. He's just taken a drop, which we think is a free drop. Well, we understand this is his 5th shot. Maybe in the water, may have gone back to give himself a full shot in.
Yes, I'm surprised it'd be his 5th, unless he's already hit 2 in the water already or something. I don't know. It's
in the water in 3, we understand, and that's the 5th. He's going back on the line. They've made some changes to this 70. We'll ask you what they are, and maybe ask you your opinion of them later. But
I'm not sure they'd be suitable for airing. I don't think I can relay any other players' opinions either. I did hear from a pressman that it wasn't Sevi's fault. Apparently Valderrama, Sevi's brother, said it was nothing to do with Sevi, the improvements to the 17th.
We'll watch some of these leaders go through, a chance to go through the changes in detail. Now, Colin Montgomery for a 2nd successive birdie. Couldn't really attack that one too much. Level par though, Colin Montgomery, and he's not going to be far away come the end of the week around Valderrama.
He's very, very solid. It's so few bad shots that around here he's not going to have many disasters, and that's probably a major key. This is Wayne Riley now for his bogey, and that's double bogey for Wayne. That's dropping him back to 1 over, and that is one of the toughest holes on the course, the 15th. 230 yards it is today to the hole.
There's not an easy hole on the course, though, is there?
There isn't. If you had to pick an easy one, maybe the 5th, and even there it's easily bogeyed. They've got the course to a situation now where really it's desperately difficult. The minute there's any breeze or the greens firm up, every hole is a struggle to make par.
Well, the last 2 winning scores, 10 under and 8 under, it's not going to be that low this year.
No, it was a lot wetter then on those weeks. The swing of David Guilford. I understand at Oak Hill in the Ryder Cup when
Curtis Strange and Ben Crenshaw weren't playing. They went out to watch David Guilford swing a golf club.
Did they? He's got lovely rhythm, David, and he certainly, when you play with him, it can rub off.
Push that one into the sand though, and Ben Hardlanger won't want that one to rub off on him. And of course, he's not going to be far away either, Ben Hardlanger. That round of 62 last year on the Friday was, I don't think anyone will get close to that.
I remember watching that on TV, and he holed putt after putt after putt, not from 10, 15 feet, but from about 30 to 40 feet. And that could be one record that will never be broken at this course.
So it's 230 to the pin. So what, the 1 iron, 2 iron?
It will be all of a 2 iron for Bernard. He doesn't hit his long irons that high, so he may be hitting a 2 iron, and it may pitch sort of about 10 on and just roll up that sort of distance. It's not an easy shot because the green sort of swerves to the right, so the ideal shape is a cut. But with the wind right to left, if you cut it, it's going to take distance of it because of the cut and, of course, the wind. That looks a pretty solid strike right there. Pitched about 10 on, and that's unlucky. That stopped almost stone dead. I pitched it 4 or 5 yards past there, and it bounded on through the back, which is what this course does.
Sam Torrance then up that excellent approach at 16. Oh, disappointing only to walk off with a par 4. Anders Forsbrands at 68 looks untouchable at the top of the leaderboard. Caceres there, 2 under. And good rounds also from Miguel Jimenez and Paul Eales. Peter Heblom with 2 to play. Colin Montgomery, well placed as well. Sandy Lau, former winner, also a good round. Solid rounds from Roger Chapman and Howard Clark with 1 hole to play, a birdie at 17. You're watching the Volvo Masters first round from Valderrama live on Eurosport. Stay where you are, we'll be back. It's a beautiful autumn afternoon on Spain's Costa del Sol. Watching the first round of the Volvo Masters. Listening to you, I'm Steve Better, with me Mark James. And we're looking at David Guilford in the bunker at 15.
I have a feeling David must have had a stone or something there. It went sideways when it came out.
That's 17, Peter Heblom, who's been going pretty well. Second shot, 17. He's got the water to carry.
He's got about 198 to the front there. And that bank there is soaking wet, designed specifically to bring the ball back into the water.
Well, they had rough there, didn't they, before last year, and it stopped. I remember Sebe's ball stopped on there.
Gave you a bit of chance. I think they've dug the lake deeper and got rid of the muck by putting it on the fairway in humps.
Not a fan. 16th, Wayne Riley.
I think Wayne's going for the Australian shot of the year here.
Anywhere up that right-hand side, I mean, you just... But Christy O'Connor Jr. once hit a memorable shot around the trees and to about 4 feet, but it's almost impossible for him.
It looks like he's just got to chip this one out. You go for shots like this around this course and you're immediately on a double bogey. He's just coming off a double bogey at 15 though, so he's got fire in his belly right at this moment.
Oh, well, Wayne sorts himself out of it. Reviewing your season as such, that the Moroccan Open, the first time with a long handle putter, that must have been a highlight.
For me, yes, that was a highlight of my individual play, but of course nothing really compared with the Ryder Cup at Oak Hill. That was probably the highlight of my career, so I can remember an awful lot about it and always will, I think.
Of course, playing in the foursomes and then sitting it out right until the singles.
It was difficult. Yeah, we were a bit unlucky to have to sit out a day and a half, but you know, other people looked to be playing well, and they kept us right in there, so, and it worked in the end. Here he is. Well, he's got that up in the air, under the first tree, over the second. Has he got the distance? Not quite, but that's a pretty good shot from there.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, there was a lot of pressure on all the players, but yourself and the likes of Howard Clark and Ian Woosnam had to get the team off to a winning start. And everybody talks about Walton and Fowler, but the role that you and Howard played at the top of the order, absolutely vital.
I think everyone did their bit, really. I think what the whole team had to do was go out and play good golf, and hardly anyone was more than about 1 or 2 over par, which round there is very, very good, and some of us were under par. And you know, as a team, we played very, very well, and that's what the Americans had done in 1993. And then they got the points, and this time we did. So it was a great team effort, really. Colin had a slightly flying lie there, and quite often flying lie with a deep iron, the ball will just come out and jump right, and that's what happened to him there. And fortunately, he just hit the edge of the green and came back round a bit, so it's not too bad. But invariably, when you get a flyer, the ball goes right, and if there's a physicist listening in, perhaps you could explain that to me. And of course, a way to counteract it would be helpful.
Flying up for birdie at 15, just touching that one, just setting it on its way. Nothing to stop it.
No, they're like, apart from the spike marks, a lot of them are like glass.
Eblon playing 4, having taken his drop. So may escape with a par. And here's Sam at 17.
This is a tough layup now, because any sort of a mistake on this shot, and the third shot will be very, very difficult. He looks to have played that pretty well. It's a little nearer the green than he'd want. That may only be about 65 to the pin, which is an awkward distance, but he's coming from the left, which gives him a bit more green to work with, as you can see there, so that's not bad.
Just chipping on the green, Frank Noblo, who's 5 over. And with Peter Heblom. Wayne Riley's third shot, the 16th. 2 years ago, you sat in this commentary box and you said you were going to take quite a bit of time off because of the effort of getting in the Ryder Cup side and playing and taking a lot out of you. Do you plan to do the same next year?
Not really, no. I took 5 months off at the start of '94, and it's taken me about 15 months to get my chipping back. And it was a culmination of a number of years, really, at that point in my career, and I haven't got that jaded or that tired recently, so I'll take a couple of months off. But
I suppose when you win the Ryder Cup as opposed to just losing it at the Belfry, that gives you a lift as well.
It's a lot nicer, I know that. Wayne does not seem to be at one with that type of grass. He's struggling to get the right strike. It is awfully difficult, that tangly wet stuff, and if the greens weren't so fast, it would be easier, but trying to chip out of claggy stuff onto glass is a nightmare.
It's David Guilford. It's a lovely tempo.
Beautiful to watch, yeah.
Of
course, he's a lovely tempo, but extremely wild off the tee.
Doesn't miss many fairways, does he?
No, he's a very good player. Bit excitable at times, but
well, they're saying that Andrew Murray was asking him, what were you really feeling at Oak Hill, and on the 17th when you had that putt? And he said, well, I was a bit nervous, but I thought the greens are good. And they said, what were you thinking on the 18th? He said, well, a bit nervous, but I thought I am one up. I mean, he almost got excited when he played with Seve.
Well, yes, I think Seve was trying to get him excited. Yeah, he takes a lot of exciting, David.
See Colin Montgomery nicely in touch at level par. This to go 1 under. We're taking 3 ahead of Sam Torrance. Just a couple of rocks. Do you think they'll be aware of what each other is doing, or will they just be trying to get on with their own game?
No, I think Sam will be very aware, because I know when he was playing the German Masters, he was told that Colin had missed the cut, and he was interested to have that information. And I would think Colin might have an interest. He'll be trying to just play his own game.
Well, Hevlon this time drops the shot. It'll be a 6 at the 17th. I mean, you're much involved with the players as chairman of the tournament committee. I mean, is it possible to quantify what the win in the Ryder Cup has done for the European circuit?
Difficult for me to know, really. I think Ken Schofield, our executive director, would be the man to ask probably in a few months' time, when he's been looking at extensions to contracts and renewing contracts and that sort of thing. But I think it can only act in our favour. And I think already looking at next season's schedule, even before that win, things are shaping up really well.
Absolutely. So a bogey for Riley at 16, Johansson going for the green in 2 at 17.
Go. Heel.
Sorry, and that's, I suppose once you get there, that's the problem, keeping it on the putting surface.
Well, they've ridged the green as well. On that line he hit it, the front half of the green is uphill, but then the back half is downhill, so he landed that about as soft as you could land it. He was on the upper lie of one of those silly humps. And just in the front here, the Sam Torrance's pitch to 17. Oh, that's a wonderful shot. Oh. That was pinpoint accuracy.
If there's been a real reason for his season, it's that short game, his chipping, and
everything has been more solid. His pitching, chipping, putting has been first class. So again, it just pitches right on the very front of the green. He didn't look particularly impressed after he'd hit that, but he will have been chuckling like a good one inside.
So Sam Torrance almost certainly will be going to just 1 over, and that will be just 4 shots off the pace. Set by Anders Forsbrand, the touring pro from Valderrama, delighting the members with a round of 68. And you can see Caceres there, Lane and Woosnam all out this morning. Good round for Paul Hills, and Colin Montgomery not far away. You're watching the first round of the Volvo Masters live on Eurosport. More golf from the leaders after the break. Per-Erik Johansson, third shot from the back of 17. Welcome back to Valderrama. I'm Steve Beddoe, and Ryder Cup hero, we're calling Mark James in the commentary box with me. They were all heroes, weren't they? And Johansson played his part as well.
He certainly did do his part, and he's been playing an awful lot better since then too. Well, that wasn't one of his best, but it's a very difficult chip from the back. He had to go up a bank and then down to the hole, and really it's too severe, that green.
Well, Sam Torrance played it a little bit more cautious, and superb third shot, pitched to within inches, and he's already tapped in for his birdie 4, so 1 over. And 72. He will say, well, that's important to stay in touch. And
he'll think that right at this moment that's not particularly good, but if he pars the last and has a look at the scoreboard, he'll know he's in good shape and well in touch with the leaders.
I mean, not to be ageist, but he's almost playing for a golfing pension. If he wins the Order of Merit Category 1 10-year exemption, that takes him through till he's 52. And if he still wants to play,
well, I wouldn't. Yes, I see what you mean, but. Hopefully Sam won't be struggling for his card for a few years, but yes, that would certainly give him the chance to play whenever he liked.
But it would mean if he wanted to take time off at all.
Absolutely, it's a good point, and it would take him through to the Seniors Tour and always give him somewhere to have a bit of competitive golf, which is very important.
You can't see him retire, because he seems to epitomise tour life. He enjoys the whole package.
Sam does enjoy life, no question about that, and when you play like he's played this year, it's even more enjoyable.
Johansson then for a birdie 4 at 17. got a chance. Oh. And there's a chance they could walk off having dropped a shot. He's done nothing wrong, really.
Yes, he went for it with his second shot and he pitched it middle of the green, which is really what you've got to do if you're not going to risk going in the water. And tough chip back and end of story.
Well, troubles continue for Wainwright. He's gone left off the tee.
No idea where he is down there. I think there's some greenkeeper's shed somewhere.
Well, there's water on the left-hand side as well.
Oh my goodness, that's...
Whoa, whoa, that's gone. Oh. Oh. Well, if he's left-handed, he's got a chance, but...
the way he's been playing the last few, I don't think there's any doubt the shoes and socks will be off, or maybe even not, but he'll be playing that one.
So if you ever wondered how deep the water is, we're about to find out. And a par on the effort pair, Orica Hansen. Hopefully it's no deeper than 5'7", because I think he's only about 5'6", Wayne Riley.
Yeah. That was a heck of a lucky break hitting those posts, I think.
It's the water hazard, the yellow, and the lateral water hazard. Well, I wonder what Colin Montgomery's making this. He's gone up on the right-hand side, and this is his second.
Got a slightly uphill lie, so he'll be able to flight this up in the air. It's a natural fader. He's hit that way upwards, so that should stop fairly quickly. But even that doesn't do the job. Running well over the back. Now he's got a horrible chip from there. It'll be downhill across the ridge. Even Monty may not get it stiff.
David Guilford looking to save his par. Went way right off the tee. You don't get too many jumping into the hole. You know 6 feet away if it's in or not. No emotion.
As he actually said, I just, God goodness, what a bogey, and that's quite a loss of head for David.
There's John Paramore, who pretty well did my job for the last half hour last year when Seve had his problems at 18. We just listened to John Paramore. He's been watching the TV pitch, and he's on the case. Because Wayne Riley's
right where he's needed here. I think he's probably just telling Wayne that he can pull those stakes out, and I guess if the ball moves, you can replace it. Or either that, or he's saying, go on, give it a hit, Wayne, let's all have a good laugh.
Now he could take a drop, and that would be a penalty drop.
Yes, I would guess that he wouldn't drop it. If he's going to not go for the shot, he'd be better off chipping it backwards to about 90, 100 yards from the pin.
No, he's going for it. Applause from the crowd behind the 17.
Approval from the crowd, commentators and the viewing public.
He's had a terrific season. Remember did you see the birdie he made on the 17th at San Nom Protest when he got a flyer out of the rough on the right, hit a French spectator in the stomach and back on the green.
I did. I was watching it. That was brilliant. Yes, he went over and gave him a kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he turned into a frog.
Yeah. Should this be on before the watershed?
Once he gets in there. Well, once he gets in there and gets his grip, it's still quite a tough shot.
It is a tough shot. I mean, it's a horrible length chip. Even if you had a normal lie, he's going to have a strange stance. He can't ground the club.
What would happen if he were to slip and fall over and the club went in the water? That's a penalty then, isn't it?
He's just had a practice swing in the hazard. So, in fact, he's practicing in the hazard here. And what he's
going to get a penalty.
In fact, what he's already done, really, it should be a penalty, I would have thought.
It's in the water again. Oh dear. There's more good news on the way. Can he not take any sort of practice swing? Or?
You're not allowed to touch anything with your club unless you fall over, I believe, in a hazard.
Yeah.
And he just went up and took a completely innocent but blatant swing in the hazard, and obviously didn't give him any advantage. But you see right here, he's just taken a little chunk out.
Yeah.
And that is, I guess it's a 2-shot penalty. I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2, probably 2.
I'm getting this from the green, aren't I?
I think let's take the microphone away.
Down a bit, yeah. Could be quite colourful. Some colloquial Australian.
So if he's not that in for 3, 2-shot penalties 5, he'll be dropping this, and I don't know. It's quite it's certainly adding up.
Drop zone? Can I use the drop zone?
I think he's telling Wayne that he can't use the drop zone. He's got to drop it 2 club lengths out from where it last crossed the red line, because it sort of hit the red post and went sideways. But if he wanted to keep that point in line with the pin, he would have to go back in the rough.
Yeah.
Obviously, you couldn't get any spin at all then. But I'm surprised he can't use that drop zone. I guess we need an official there right during the day. It's easy to get confused when you're lobbing it in water and struggling with the greens.
So he's certainly played 4. We think he may have played 6.
He's either played, no, that's without a penalty for grounding his club, that's 5,
yeah.
I think. And if that has been spotted somewhere along the line, that's probably, he's there for 7.
All of which a little bit disturbing for Connie Montgomery, who was playing with Seve when Seve had the contract on 18 last year. So,
well, I think Monty's a brisk player, so he's used to hanging around. I don't think it'll bother him too much.
Beasley down and up, and
yes, the camera angle takes away a lot of the slope. He's on a down slope and then coming up to the green, and then the last 30 feet to the pin is severely down, so he's got to pitch it just about there and let it trickle down to the right. And that is beautifully played.
we really couldn't have got it any closer.
No, that was a superb shot, played with a lot of touch and feel and technique as well.
Sam Torrance at 18, Peter Heblom finished with a 5 and around a 73. Sam from the right side of the fairway, or right hand side, trees in play. See it on the putting surface. He was suffering chest infection, was it, last week? And when he was on antibiotics when Scotland won the Alfred Dunhill Cup.
Is that right?
There's normally something wrong with him, isn't there?
Well, yeah, that's right. He's usually got some sort of ailment, but not normally serious. Back to Colin Montgomery at 17. He's got this for his birdie, which will put him at 1 under. The chip going past the hole sort of moved to the right as we look at it and then straightened up, so difficult to know what the putt's going to do. But if you hit them firmly, there's not much on them from inside about 8 feet.
And you see, he would put himself into a share of 3rd place if he were to make it. Of course, just the 4 players under par at the moment and just 7 par or better. It was never on the line.
That was never close. That's unusual for Colin. He's normally a solid putter.
So that's a 5. A par for Montgomery. Been a wretched run for Riley, double bogey.
He's got this for either 6 or 8.
It's worse. And we think that's for a 9.
I would have thought so, unless, yeah, I guess it may not have been spotted down there, but it's been spotted by a lot of people, I'm sure.
And if he didn't see it, John Paramore, out on the course here, know about it now.
I'm sure he will. It's a shame, that sort of thing. And, if Wayne were to see it on TV, he'd just throw his hands up and say, well, that makes the hole even better. As Bernard is on the upslope of one of those humps. Personally, I think the hump should go, but that beautiful patchwork quilt should stay. He's got 230 to the front, if that's a red spot in a yellow circle. And the pin's on 9, so this is a fairly long shot. Probably a cleek, forward 5 or something like that. Downwind.
Ooh.
Well, he's hit it right to be safe, and that will probably
all the way. Oh.
Carefully shave that little bit of the bank.
There's not really a bailout shot.
He's in a horrible place now. He'd have to drop it sideways, going up a bank.
So problems for Bernhard Langer. No problems for Anders Forsbrand. He can sit back, feet up, and enjoy this. I hope you're enjoying it as well. Steve Beddoe with Mark James in the commentary box for Eurosport, live from the first round of the Volvo Masters at Valderrama. Welcome back. We're looking at the 17th at Valderrama, first round of the Volvo Masters. David Guilford, third shot. Oh, doesn't want to spin too much now. Stop. And that's surely not going to go all the way. Oh, just holds on.
I don't know how he got that much spin on that. It must have been a superb layup to exactly the right distance. That was all down to the second shot, put him in exactly the right place.
Well, Sam Torrance found sand with his second at 18. Not the best bunker shot he's ever played, right across the green. He had to cut it round the trees and just overdid it.
Yeah, just a bit too much, and flubby bunker shot. Langer's got a ruling. He's hitting at hazard, wants to know where to go, what to do, what number ball to use, whether to put his glove on or not. I played with Ronan Rafferty today. He hit it into the water right there, and then chipped 2 more in. It's a horrible chip from where he's going to drop it if he has to keep that spot in line. Unless he uses a drop zone, and there's a drop zone way left and short. And that may be the easiest shot in if he's allowed to use that particular drop zone.
Meanwhile, Sam Torrance for a round of 72. Drops a shot at the last, so it'll be a 73. Mixed finish for Sam with 73. A solid first round. It's not the spectacular round that he would have wanted, but it's left him still in touch. Bernhard is rolling. They're going back to look at the drop zone.
He's been told he can use that drop zone, which is about another 30 yards on that line he's walking. He'll go and have a look from there, see if he fancies the shot, and if he doesn't, he'll drop it back over where his caddy is.
He's the most meticulous of players. He won't be hurrying himself. He wanted to be absolutely right.
If the only way to hurry Bernhard is to put the watch on him, and then he's off and running like a good one.
Right, Conor Montgomery second into 18.
A perfect drive here. It only looks like a 6, 7, 8 iron or 7 iron perhaps. He's looking up and down at the pin. He doesn't seem to mind it too much. Right on lines. Lovely shot.
Yeah, pin today 19 paces on. Getting quite tight to the left hand side, just 6 paces from the left edge.
Yeah, stopping quickly there. The 18th is one of the wet greens. Everyone's a little bit different. I'm not saying that's bad, that's just how it is.
Well, of course, this will be the venue for the 1997 Ryder Cup, and it's a tough test, always has been, but do you think it will give the European team an edge because they play it every year? I
think we'll have a big edge around this course. I think the American players will wonder what's hit them if it's in the sort of shape it's in this week. Unpredictable greens and a bit of wind and bit of bounce on the fairways. It's enough to send you around the bend, to be quite honest, and I doubt if they have anything like this in America. If they have, they better go there and start practicing, I think.
So let's say the Spanish referee.
Yes, and tell Bernhard he can use that drop zone, and Bernhard says, yes, I like the look of that.
So he'll be playing 4.
Probably got about 70, 75 to the pin, and I think Bernhard does carry a lob wedge, one with about 60 degrees of loft.
They've settled on a 9 for Wayne Riley, by the way.
Right.
Which is what, as you had it.
Yeah, that's... So this is a good angle to come in from, even if it's your 4th shot. And it does give him a chance of getting it somewhere near. And he has a lovely action on these, takes it back very square and just clips the ball away. Lovely strike, beautiful noise.
And may escape with a 5, and he keeps his emotions wonderfully in check. Would have been clearly disappointed with the result of his second shot, but there's still a job to be done.
Absolutely, and there's no one better to do that sort of thing than Bernhard. He's so good around the greens. He always knows that he can grind out a par, and looks like he's going to do that at 17.
So Langer, the course record holder, the best round of the day so far. Anders Forsbrand with a 68. Jose Caceres a 69, the man who beat Greg Norman in the Dunhill Cup at St Andrews last week. Barry Lane and Ian Woosnam, the only other players under par. Sandy Lyle, that's a pretty good round. And Sam Torrance, well, he's there in equal 11th place, so that's 73, not so bad. And we'll be back with the conclusion of the first round of the Volvo Masters after the break. See you then. Welcome back to Valderrama on Spain's Costa del Sol, reaching the end of the first round of the 1995 Volvo Masters, the grand finale of the Volvo Tour season. To look at the practice ground, and now David Guilford on 17, looking for a 4, was very close with his third shot and span back almost into the water. My co-commentator is Mark James, 5th in the Volvo Order of Merit at the moment, so a chance for a nice slice of that Volvo bonus pool.
Well, hopefully not too many people will pass me this week. I usually don't do all that well here, but so I've got off to a good start, 74. But this is Langer for his save his par.
Oh, Well, you just can't ruffle the guy.
Excellent par. That'll feel like a birdie. Stays at +2. And he wants par for 73, which is will be well in touch, really.
Will be the same score as Sam Torrance and Colin Montgomery, maybe a couple of shots better. In fact, Colin Montgomery making his 4 and 18, he's in with a 71, so advantage at the moment just to Colin Montgomery.
He's just tried to cut the corner and it's gone through the branches of the tree forwards and bounced out to the semi, and that is a good break for Bernard Langer there. It's I played with Ronan Rafferty earlier. He hit that same tree, it came back 60 yards into a water hazard.
He wasn't having the best of days in Ronan at that stage.
He wasn't really on a hot streak, no. Enough said about Ronan's round this morning, I think. This is David Guilford.
It's quite a sort of liquid swing. There's plenty of moving parts, but it all flows together, doesn't it?
He's a very good driver of the ball, and he's really quite long. He's just sort of sweeps it away, and he gets a really good flight on it. I don't know where he gets the power from. Timing, I guess. I really must try that one day.
Well, here's 18, the concluding hole. It's some 454 yards long. Over on the right, the trees where Severiano Ballesteros had all the problems 12 months ago, and then sweeps left and up the hill. And again, those trees grow in, and if you go a long way back, they can be an influence. And up to the green and the pin today, 19 paces on, 6 from the left, so that bunker on the left-hand side comes into play. Let's take a look at Andrew Coulthard and Peter O'Malley. Coulthard's on in 2. He had such a good week at St Andrews.
He played some sparkling golf there, didn't he? First 2 rounds and the last round, 66, 68, and a 67 or something the last day. That was that's really low scoring around St Andrews in those conditions.
And it meant an awful lot to him to be a member of the first Scottish winning team.
Yes, I think so. He deserved it.
And what were you English boys up to, losing the first 2, and then Australia, who were my tip, and put them out 3-0. A bit of extra spice if you beat an Englishman against an Australian is always going to be a little bit of competition there.
It was a very small consolation prize beating Australia. Now we played poorly against Spain and Argentina, and that's it. You're off down the road, and quite rightly so. It's a strange competition, that Daniel Cup. Anything can happen, and
as I say, usually does.
Yes, and certainly the Scottish boys played very well all week, and I think if any team deserved to win, they did. It's Peter O'Malley. It's going up the slope, trickling over, down.
What a chance.
Played that very well. Just tough to stop it.
O'Malley, winner of the Benson Hedges down at St Mellion. Moving from St Mellion next year, that's at the Oxfordshire. Have you played there yet?
I haven't. I've heard it's pretty good. It's difficult to know really till we have a tournament there, but people speak very highly of it.
I think you're in for a treat, and of course the professional, their head professional, Ian Mosey.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well. That's.
I was going to say fellow Yorkshireman, but do you consider yourself a Yorkshireman because you were born in?
Well, you put me on the spot on air there, Steve, and but it depends who's listening, really. Have you got the viewing figures for different regions? And I can come to some sort of an arrangement. Yes, I do really. I've lived there for 15 years now, so it's my home, and it's a beautiful county, and very much a Yorkshireman. Well, I like to think, anyway. A couple of bad years, they might disown me, but
I think they're quite glad to have you this year. That's for sure. Well, Coulthard has this for an eagle. 3 over at the moment. Get in. Because that win for Scotland last week would have lifted Andrew Coulthard's confidence.
he looked a very, very good player last week, I must say. Difficult to understand why he hasn't done a little bit better this year. He looks to be very talented.
Well, there is 2 teammates at St Andrews, Sam Torrance and Colin Montgomery. Montgomery, say, the first day advantage in at level par. Two better than Sam Torrance, and probably two better than Bernhard Langer, unless he can birdie this hole.
Stay there, don't go further left.
We caught the trees for the second time, not so lucky.
No, he just dragged it a bit, and a lot of trees overhang certain holes on this course, and it's quite easy to catch them. That's Peter O'Malley for a birdie at 17, and tapping down a spike mark.
Stays 3 over. Started well, a couple of birdies early on.
David Guilford with his second to 18 after a textbook drive. He's talking to it. That's probably a bad sign. I think he was saying stop. He just put his Sunday best swing on that and hit it too far. Green at 18 slopes up at the front and then almost is firmer and at the back, and it's tough to get the clubbing just right. This is 17 and looks like Jose Rivera. He's quite well up. This will be about a 3-iron.
Water.
We know where that's going.
Rivera, who for many years was the course record holder, 65 in one of the early Volvo Masters. Not today, though. Had an eagle at the 4th. See how the 18th is sort of horseshoed into the side of the hill. It's a tight drive with trees at either side.
The ideal shot here is a low draw round the sort of dog leg, but it's tough to hit that shot, especially when trees are overhanging off the tee. He doesn't like that at all. Left it miles out to the right.
Anders Forsbrand on his way to a 68 this morning actually hit it so far left he was in that bunker halfway down the 10th, and had a sort of fairly flat line coming out the back of the bunker, as it were, and put it on the back of the green and got up and down for his 4.
Forsbrand is a heck of a recovery player. He's in the same mould as Ballesteros. They seem to know their way around other fairways. That's a lovely tee shot.
He's going to have to bend his second around the trees.
Yeah, we're going at the wrong angle, yeah.
I heard the first one, but I
absolutely.
didn't see it.
So there is the round of Anders Forsbrand, of course, taking up where he left off. He was the winner of the German Masters, as you probably saw on the Eurosport, all 4 days in Berlin, and at the last stroke play tournament on this year's schedule before this Volvo Masters. And he brought his good form home to Spain. I know they were delighted that here at Valderrama, where he's been their touring pro for many years.
Yes, he has, and certainly his play in that German Masters was superb. Right the way through the tournament, he played very, very solid golf. He likes this course. He shot a few good rounds here in the past. He was 4 under after about 27 holes last year in this tournament. Faded away, but certainly he likes the place.
You see just 1 or 2 of the other scores. Jamie Spence first out, finished double bogey for his 73. It looked like it was going to be a subpar round at one stage. Yes, Pepanovic a 74, Constantina Rocker 74, and my co-commentator Mark James just off there also a 74. So quite a late start time for you tomorrow, I would think. Mid-morning?
Yes, mid-morning be perfect. Leisurely breakfast, swipe a few mid-morning. Very pleasant. This is probably one of the best bunker players in the world. And this is not an easy shot. It's got a fair bit of green. He gets a great control of flight normally and pace.
He couldn't have played that any better.
He played it well. The greens are pretty quick. To get it to about 6 feet is a good shot.
And he's got an uphill putt. That's the important thing for his par.
Asking Pete, his caddy, for a new ball there. David Guilford, he plays a different sort of bunker shot. He sweeps the club way under and hits them out quite high. And not quite as effective. It's The sand's heavy there. The Langer method takes a bit less sand. The ball comes out a bit straighter.
Langer a putt.
And this was Langer's third shot from short left. What we just saw, in fact, was his fourth shot.
Fourth shot, yeah.
And that was an amazing shot for Langer to hit. I've never seen him miss-hit a chip before. He'll be stunned by that, and I would think he'll be hitting several hundred of those after the round.
Well, he doesn't make many mistakes like that, does he?
No, that's an incredible shot. No wonder he was asking for a new ball. He hit that halfway up. That's remarkable.
And he's currently third in the Volvo Order of Merit, ranked fourth in the world. And he's been a pro since 1972. The last time he missed a cut, Leeds won the cup.
If he's been a pro since 1972, he must have turned pro when he was pretty young, when he was about 13 or something, 14. Must have been a bit of skipping off school, I think.
Well, he was always going to be a golfer. David Guilford looking to save his par.
This is uphill from here. I'll be able to give it a good roll at the hole. Nice way to finish.
Turned pro when he was about 16, I think, Bernhard Langer. Didn't come onto the tour for a while. And there's David Guilford. Just the one birdie on the front nine, one on the back, and a 74. And again, that's not a disastrous score by any means.
No, and that's quite a big haul of birdies, really, for this course. That's several rounds worth, 2 birdies in one day.
You know, tomorrow you're going to shoot a 66.
Yes, I'll walk in from the 16th green.
So Langer, that round of 62, £3,000 from Johnny Walker, and they paid out more than 20 times this year. But I think the £3,000 this week is safe in Johnny Walker's pocket.
I can't see anyone scooping that now. Not under any conditions on this course. He's got this for a bogey, Bernard. He will want to hold this very badly. Yeah, well, he could have made bogey from where he was for 2,
So 74, same as David Guilford, and it was pretty good going out. Just a problem or two coming home, but
yes,
74 not disastrous.
Not bad, and also a hat full of birdies.
So there they are, Sam Torrance, top of the Volvo Order of Merit, a 73, Bernhard Langer third, needing to finish first or second, a 74, but Colin Montgomery, even at this early stage, a workmanlike round to get round in a level par. He wants that hat-trick of Order of Merit wins. Jose Rivero having found the water with his second. This is the last match of the day. 4 over now. Rivero playing with Stuart Cage, the rookie off the Challenge Tour. He's had such a good first season.
Right in the heart. Not impressed, Jose.
And they've had about 2 hits, that ball, or 3 hits, the drop and then off.
It's a bit of a waste, isn't it? You could have got several more rounds out of that, Steve, couldn't you? Sandra Coulthard's third to 18, chipped out from the trees.
You may have heard the phone ring. It was a wrong number. I can't believe that. Hotel Sada Grande. No, Eurosport.
We don't take bookings, do we?
Oh, no. There they are again, right.
Hanging back.
Cut them off and leave it there. We are now engaged. Back to the golf, closing action of the first day of the Volvo Masters. Been superb weather. Anders Forsbrand the round of the day with that 68. One better than Jose Caceres, Barry Lane and Ian Woosnam, the only other players under par. Chance to look through the scores. And back with the action.
This is Jose Rivera on 18. He's one of the players, I think he's got one of these enormous headed great big berthers. Makes quite a crack when they hit the ball.
It's a feature of the Volvo Tour on the practice ranges. Peter Harrison out there with all the drivers for you to try. Are you a great fiddler with clubs you try for you on the range?
I'm not averse to a few free clubs, I must say, but the Callaway have tried very hard, and I think they've got some of the pro tours. They've got over 40% of the professionals on the main tours, which is quite remarkable. They only started sort of coming onto the ranges a couple of years ago, and they've been an incredible success story, Callaway. It's quite amazing. They've probably got as many drivers on tour as there are ping players, which is it's the sort of the driver equivalent of the ping irons.
Makes a difference if there's someone out there with the clubs and you can try them. And
it's essential really with drivers, because everyone can feel a little bit different, and the more we have access to, the more chances there is of finding one that feels like just that club to take you to the top of the money list. It's unfortunately, pros we're as bad, if not worse, than amateurs for just hoping to find that dream club that'll elevate us to new heights, make us into a Greg Norman or a Bernard Langer.
A fourth shot at 18 for Peter O'Malley. He's still on the tee, 3 over. They're going to drop at least one shot. You enjoyed your year as chairman of the Tournament Players Committee?
Oh, very much so, yes. I like to think we're trying to move forward with keeping the views of the players in mind, and also the Ken Schofield and those who run the tour. It's we're sort of the go-betweens, try and keep the peace and explain things, and I think it's going pretty well generally. I think most of the players understand what the direction the tour's heading and why, and there's always a few little things cause problems, but that's life.
Andrew Coulthard then. And a wretched run around the turn where he had 4 bogeys in a row from 9 to 12.
That's a 5 for Coulthard, and that'll give him a round of 75.
So good start for Andrew Coulthard. It was a good start for this man Peter O'Malley as well, but neither player able to keep it going. And up and down from the side, and that also will be a 75 for Peter O'Malley. So just one match remaining on the course. You can see 2 birdies in the first 3 holes, and around the turn started to throw shots away. Strange how if one player starts dropping shots or even picking up shots, how it seems to affect his playing partner.
Can quite easily happen that, yes. You can get each other going or pull each other back. It's very strange. It's Stuart Cage now. He's
young Yorkshireman, great start to life on the tour for him.
He's done tremendously well this year. I played with him a few weeks ago in the Lancome, and he looks a very solid player. I can see him being around for many years. He's taught by an old friend of mine, Peter Tupling, who is pro at Sandmore, and he seems to be doing a pretty good job with him.
Peter Tupling, former tour player, and won a time or two, didn't he?
Former tour player, former winner of the Nigerian Open. Former nutter. I don't know if he's still a nutter, but
well, Cage came very close in the Irish Open, where he made the playoff with Howard Clark and Sam Torrance. Dumped it in the water at the first playoff hole, but it was still a good enough finish to guarantee the card, take all the pressure off. Made a good start to the year as well. He's just having to cut that around.
That was beautifully played and almost came back to the pin and just caught the trap. That was the shame, and he won't be surprised at that. He's just had a dodgy 6 at 17, and these things go in runs.
There's the Volvo car in the middle of the lake by the side of the 10th. And they are feeding time.
You wouldn't want to slip in there right now, would you?
Yeah, the course is so tough, they're probably piranhas.
It wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
Well, there's Anders Forsbrand, the leader, by 1 from Jose Caceres, and he's having a terrific finish, and there will be, no doubt, a little mini battle going on this week to see who can finish top Swede. 5 of them tournament winners, and something like 11 in the top 50 in the Volvo Order of Merit. There's a situation at the top of the pack in terms of being number 1 in Europe. Bernhard Langer at the back of that trio with a 74. Sam Torrance a 73, which round about now he'll start to feel a little bit better about, but he'll be very aware that Colin Montgomery's posted that 71.
Yes, I think there's a fair chance Sam will have looked at the scoreboards. But it's early days in this tournament. Now we see the money list and the roughly 4,000 that Sam is ahead, and Bernhard Langer 60,000 odd behind, and really needs a top 2 to have any chance of overtaking the other 2. That was a lovely shot. The way he got that club to bounce through the sand was very impressive.
They make it look so easy.
They do indeed.
I mean, how many bunker shots would he hit in the course of a week?
Well, he's hit quite a lot on the practice ground, but the sand on the course is different, and there's also 2 types of sand out on the course. One is quite hard and brownish, and the other's quite soft and sort of sandy coloured. It's strange, and you know, they're a bit unpredictable.
Just 1 birdie so far for Stuart Cage. That came at the 10th. He's had 5 bogeys since then. This to finish with a round of 76.
I've seen better putts than that one. I think he'll be having a wry smile to himself about that.
I do believe I've hit better putts than that one.
I'm sure. Look, these greens can do that to you. You have a few which just slow up and move sideways, and then you just suddenly get one that just runs on and dead straight. It's they're so difficult, these greens. And we've seen so little hold since I joined you in the commentary box. There's hardly been any putts hold at all. Seen several lip out and a few melt over the edge of the hole, but almost nothing's gone in, which is very unusual.
There'll be a few wounded headed for the physio bus, the Gatorade bus.
Oh yes, there's nothing like a few bad scores to make people feel their aches and pains.
Well, that's one of the better putts in Stuart Cage.
He learned from the first one.
So that's a round of 77 for Stuart Cage. His first experience of Valderrama, of course, and I think it's probably been an eye-opener.
I'm sure it is. The first time here is a bit of a culture shock.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is the conclusion of the first round of the 1995 Volvo Masters. Jose Rivero in for a 75. And the highlight, obviously, the eagle at the par 5 fourth hole. He found the water at 17. Conditions have been quite tough, but mustn't complain this time of year to have temperatures pretty well in the 80s. Not a bad place to be. Anders Forsbrand, the star of the day, the touring professional from Valderrama, making local knowledge count. A round of 68, that's one ahead of Jose Caceres and two ahead of Barry Lane, who started bogey and fought that well. Ian Woosnam opened with a birdie and got it round in 70. You can see all those scores at 1-2 over within sight of the leader. Sam Torrance with a 73, the leader in the Volvo Order of Merit. And Mark James, my co-commentator. Many thanks for coming in, Mark.
Pleasure.
74. If I say I hope we don't see you the rest of the week, you know that I mean it in the fact that you have a good score and you're out with the leaders. That would be nice.
Absolutely, yeah. It's surprisingly placed surprisingly well, that sort of score. Certainly the winds and the firmness of the greens taking their toll today on the scoring. A lot of players down in the 77 range there. That's very unusual for any tournament, let alone a restricted field.
Should it not go your way, you're more than welcome. Till then, from me, Steve Beddoe from Valderrama, goodbye, see you tomorrow. Well, there we are, tomorrow as promised, 3 o'clock Central European time, that's 2 o'clock for the UK and Ireland. Still the story is unfolding. Will it be Monty, will it be Langer, or will it be Montgomery? Montgomery has gone well today, but the man who's gone best of all is Anders Forsbrand. This time it really is goodbye from Mark and from me, Steve Beddoe.
The Volvo Tour was brought to you by Volvo.